Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Mr. Dunn's art room. Hopefully you're ready to go on the next project, and that's going to be cartooning. So how are we going to cartoon something? First you need to brainstorm. So if you watch some of the videos that are also with this link, you might see something like this. So we have 4 squares. We're coming up with 4 different cartoon characters, right? Pick your favorite one. Could be anything. I got an alien here, we got an animal, a dog here, got a humanoid person, right? And I was looking for something more unique, so I preferred this one, this alien that I worked out, because everything was different. Although he's still got arms and little feet there, right? I don't know how well you can see that. See it? So I took that character and I did a 3-eyed alien, what do you call this, penguin type of character. So this is called a mock-up, where you mix different kinds of characters together and you bring in all different aspects, blend it together. Maybe this will be easier to see. Let me look behind the camera. There we go. See, so you have a fish head with a horn like a catfish, right? He's got dragon wings there, spots, kind of a dinosaur stance, hoofs for the feet, spiked tail. So that's a mock-up where you bring different things together. So doing something like this guarantees that you'll be very original, which is one of the goals. So if you find that you're copying something that's known too much, add something to it. You know, you have SpongeBob there, and we don't want to use anything that's copyrighted. We want to be original. So add something, start changing it, and make it really crazy. Then you'll be original. So there's that one. So this is really a 2-week project. So this first week you're coming up with your character, so you brainstorm, and I picked those alien guys, and so then I come up with this one. Make sure it's on screen here good. There we go. Right, so what's the boy over here? I decided to do a female version of that, so I did a boy and a girl, because the next week's project is going to be a comic strip with this character. So, with your character. So I decided I needed them to have somebody to talk to, so I made another version of the same character. You don't need to do that here. It could just be added on the next week if you need that. Alright? So obviously you can see I got the big hair, big red lips, and the smaller hands and smaller feet, and I don't know, all kinds of things to make it obviously a girl, even though it's just a cartoon. Okay. So that's this week's project. So let me show you next week's really quick, and then I take that and I turn it into a comic strip. Right there. 4 to 6 squares. You can slow it down and read it if you want. See? And that's the final 2 weeks to get to there. We'll talk more about how to do this in a minute. So let me first, so that's the whole process, 3 pages right there. So let me show you another one in that process. You know, Disneyland takes lampstands and all kinds of weird things and turns them into characters, so I tried to do that on this one. I took up, let me look behind the camera here, get it straight, there we go, this mixer, and decided how can I turn the mixer into a character. Decided not to have legs. I decided these little bump knobs of holding the mixer was enough, but he needed arms to push the buttons in his story, in the comic strip. So, and I can do all the different kind of faces. See how critical the eyes and eyebrows are for what he's doing. You'll see that in the next picture. So that's what you're trying to come up with this week, this first week, if that's what you're watching this video for. If you're watching for the next project, then zoom ahead to that. So then the next week we've got to put them into a story, so you got to come up with some ideas with your character. Okay, so if you want to read this one, I can blend grain. I can blend fruit. I can blend grain into flour. Once you say, even cement to dust, you know, like an infomercial. But I just can't blend in with these guys. Toaster 5,000, microwave 3,000, with the blender 2,000. So something cute like that. 4 squares. That's all you need. You can do up to 6, but not more, because then it gets too small. Alright? I'm sharing information, getting ahead of the way. Here's some student work. So the student came up with this one. This is a unicorn flying fish, whale or something. Unifish. So they did that the first week. In the second week's project, they came up with this story for it. Flying in the air. I'm hungry. I want a turtle. Turtles. Jackpot. So lots of turtles to eat. So you want some kind of progression in your story. Do I have any more progression? So here's a bunch of characters without their stories. Okay. You see that one nicely? Kind of an anime-ish looking character. That's cool, huh? They didn't just draw that the first try. They worked it out. Did rough drafts, and maybe watch some videos on how to draw that specific characters. Here's a man that can throw fire. He's a fireman. Fireman, no. Like a superhero or something. Here's a little kid. Cartoony kid with a lollipop and a doll. Notice how nicely colored it is. We Sharpie over all the pencil lines and we erase any pencil. We'll talk about that. You can color the whole background if you want, make a whole scene. But this is not your whole cartoon. You need to do that the next week. 4 to 6 squares, okay? So that is those. We got a couple I can show here. Alright, anyways. Here's I don't know how many to show. Let's go here. Alright, I'll show you a bunch of cartoon stories now and how they work those out and kind of the expectations on them. Okay? So, cartoons, here we go. So they had their character that was this guy, but he's really small here, that's fine. Boom, now he's in the water. This day can't get any worse. Uh-oh, here come the sharks. So what's he saying? It can always get worse. He's getting eaten by sharks. Love the little tummy. So we want to separate our boxes with a thick Sharpie, or go over multiple times if you only have a thin Sharpie, and then go over all your pencil sketching when you drew this out with a thin Sharpie. And then when you color it, you'll be able to see it very well. If you color it with just pencil, the pencil disappears and you can hardly see any of your lines because the color is so bright over the pencil. Okay? So this is what we did in class over the years. So you're going to want to try to do that at home. Alright? Come closer. Closer. It's getting angry. Too close. So we back away. Oh, closer. I don't know. Looks like you use crayon to separate that. And if that's all you have, that'll work. So here we got 6 squares. I talked about that. 4 or 6 squares. So either divide your paper in half both ways, or you have to measure this out. Divide this into thirds, and get it measured out into 6 equal squares. Who's walking? Oh, what to do, what to do. That's a mud puddle, by the way. Some pig needs to come jump off of me. I want some mud. I need a pig. Family reunion. They're going to jump off into the mud. Kind of silly. Most of them are pretty silly. Is timing still going here? Yes. We have battery. This one has smaller squares. You know, the nicer and the better your art is, the more squares you could probably do. The messier it is, the harder it is to read. Just stick with 4 squares. You know? Hey, look, they use something that you already know about. 1-point perspective. Isn't that smart? Put that into your modern new projects. Now that you have more freedom to make what you want. So this is that fire guy I showed you the pre-picture the first week. So in the second week, this is the story here, man. Why are you so mad? I missed free Kool-Aid day at Walmart. Okay. Anger by Thomas Lauder. Dude, that's tomorrow. Thanks, bye. He's burned up the city. It's too late. See, when a superhero gets mad, he can cause some problems. So, right, where have you been? Just around. I need to tell you something. What? Well, what? I love you this much, little arms. That's not that much. That's not very much. Because his arms are so small. So they developed this the first week, the character, pretty easy. Next week, made this story. Notice here they used thin Sharpie and boxed each one out and then left a white line because they colored in between the boxes. darn it. So you can do stuff like that. But again, it's nice to have thick Sharpie separating the boxes and thin Sharpie drawing inside the boxes. Otherwise it all blends and looks like one big picture if you don't have these thick separation. So here they broke it up differently. They didn't just divide it into an X or 6 squares. We've got a thin strip here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. Now that the art is pretty clean, you can see it, but it's getting hard to read. The writing's getting smaller. But you can look at it, hey, I'm good. Here comes a monster out of the beach, on the ocean, roar, roar, they run away. Monster, run. Good perspective of them coming over the hill in the sand. Cough, cough, excuse me, who wants pizza? Chip, he's crying. He just wanted to bring pizza to everybody. Right? Cute. Like an anime type of looking one. So it could be part of a story. One page in a whole book. You can do that. Doesn't have to be a beginning and a conclusion. Here's the old guy that's making, I need to make a sign for money. Okay, a pen. Hey, cardboard. My dad got killed by ninjas. Need money for karate lessons. So he's a bum on the street, I guess. Here we got. So we turned a phone into a cartoon character and a computer into a cartoon character. Dang, this thing is always breaking down. Well, I'm here and take over your planet, says this robot. Oh, his ship broke down. We'll stop you, says the cell phone and computer. He wraps and ties them up. Now no one can save you. Ha 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 ha. I'll save you. Here comes the TV. Looking silly. Alright, so that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. You'll notice this is thin Sharpie. Next to thin Sharpie. Not as good. Combined, these two look like they're connected, especially when the pictures are very similar. So watch out. Make this line thicker, like here. Alright. Looking at lots of examples there. If you were in class, I would show you all of these, and we would look at the problem ones, and the good and the bad. But instead, I'm just going to go down this list. Okay, here we go. This is your 1, 2, 3, 4 grade. So here's a 4. 4, right? Remember the girl with the lollipop? Look at that. All Sharpied over, thick separation lines. I can read the writing nice and clear on the 4 squares. It's all clean and it's all color. There's no white on the paper except for the boxes. That makes it good to read. Cool, huh? So here's a 3. So we're starting to have some problems. We have thick Sharpie. That's great. But then we have thick Sharpie in the writing boxes, so it's getting blobby and you can't read the writing when you use a thick Sharpie. It starts to blob. We have stuff that's still penciled that didn't get thin Sharpied over. Okay, so it's just starting to get a little messy with the use of Sharpie. Here's a 2. What did they forget to do on that one? They didn't color anything, as well as using a thick Sharpie on the entire project. So can you read any of this writing? Very difficult. And I've got my glasses on. Don't something. You again. I can't read any of that mess. Right? Thick Sharpie just blobs. There's nothing you can do about it. So thick Sharpie for the separation, thin Sharpie here. I hope you have that at home. Obviously, if you don't have a thin Sharpie, you can use a ballpoint pen, and you can make thick lines with that. Now what's up with this one? So it's just blobby, thick Sharpie everywhere, terrible coloring, super messy. No ruler, right? It's all, the lines are crooked, didn't use a ruler on anything. There you go. By the way, if you don't have a ruler at home, what can you use? Book, all kinds of stuff. Fold up another piece of paper, another pencil could be used for a straight edge. You know, look, you can use this as a ruler. I'm getting people emailing me, asking me, telling me they don't have rulers. Strange. Go to the store, buy one for $1. That's pretty much it for this two-week project connection. So do your best. If you're stuck at home, use the materials you have, solve your issues. You can email me if you need help with something specific on there. I'm not containing you too hard on the rules, 6 squares, 4 squares, but don't do 10 squares. Everything will be so small you won't be able to read or see anything. Okay? And on the actual individual character, you have a big paper, so be sure you do it nice and big in the paper. Don't draw a really small, okay, character. Paper, come down to the school and get paper. I'm going to have paper in the office. Yeah, there we go. So come grab some paper from the front office and you'll have, for the next couple projects, actual art paper if you don't have any at home. Okay, so good luck. You can do it.